I can't lie to you. Got close.
When you say close, exactly how close?
Hello, 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 my sisters fans. I miss you guys. I'm pretty late with this video of the season finale of Sisters, but I'm gonna just jump right into it. So the season finale was what, people? I think it was about a week and a half. Well, 2 weeks ago maybe, or the week before last, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna jump right into this, people. The scene starts off with coming back from Sabrina and Rich. Now, Sabrina explains to Rich that she is that she spent some time with Damani when they went on their trip. Now, how they just squeezed in that little that little part with her and Damani, like we didn't get any type of details on how she was even. I don't know. I'm like, how did they just throw that in there? They went on a trip and they stayed in the same room or near the sea. I don't know what that's about. First off, people, we all know that Sabrina is wrong. If you think that Sabrina is right, let me know in the comments, because anytime you're in a relationship and you make that decision to uh not tell your partner that you decided to use somebody's sperm, you're wrong. She kind of just made it about her, and I didn't like that the writers had that scene go like that. She was just kind of like, oh, why you wasn't answering your phone for me? Like, girl, why would he? He was upset. You having a baby with somebody that he knows is attracted to you. So, well, you plan on having a kid with somebody that he know is attracted to you. This is what he's trying to have. This is why he has the attitude he does, and he has every right. Sabrina then decides that she just wants to be friends. And I'm like, wait a minute, why do they have them breaking up like that? It just looks so, I don't know. It was just like awkward. Like I said, Sabrina tries to convince him that they didn't sleep together or whatever. But Rich gets mad, he leaves out, he's upset. And of course, I can understand that. So we'll get back to them later. Then we school over to pain in the butt Penelope. Penelope is at the precinct because Robin now gets Jordan out of jail. Now, mind you, Jordan looked like he was in a whole prison. He didn't look like he was still at the precinct with a whole orange jumpsuit on. So I don't know, people, what the writers tried to actually do with this part with Jordan, but I guess. So Robin, again, Superman, he gets Jordan out of jail. And in mix of that, Penelope plants one on him and gives him a kiss. I'm just like, this girl is too much. It's a lot going on with Penelope. They got Penelope running around just looking for somebody. She trying to get out all their men. So I don't know. I don't know if this is her way of revenge or what. I mean, she's still obsessed with Andy, trying to get back at Andy. But Robin clearly is, from right now, he's not really feeling Penelope. So we'll get back to that with Penelope behind a little bit later in this review. So then we school right over to Andy, explain it to that she is actually headed to try to let Robin know that she really wants to try with him, and she really does, I'm assuming, love him. Now, I think that Andy should give it a break. I think that maybe she should just date, because every time it's a situation, especially with Gary getting his memory back and him, I could see him still trying to sabotage her relationship, especially if she goes with Robin. I think Robin will be her protector, though. But I don't know how long that'll last before Robin starts to believe that Andy may still be in love with Gary. So we move on from that. Andy is all excited about going to tell Robin that she really wants to give them a chance. Soon as she gets in the car, somebody's in the back seat and they decide to knock her out and take her to, you guys know where she was took it to and who it was at this point. So we move on from there. We go back to Zach and Fatima. Fatima comes in and she sees Zach is continuing to try to figure out who is behind this whole thing with Gary and who stabbed Gary. So Fatima comes in and Zach is still on the board trying to figure it out. Fatima's like, let's just give it up. In the mix of them doing that, Fatima realizes is who it actually is, who actually stabbed Gary. So at this point, they're kind of solving the case without actually singing it. So Fatima, so in the mix of that, they get a knock at the door and it's Karen because Fatima said earlier on in the episode, asked Karen to come by so she could sign some paperwork for Roots to Riches. And in the mix of that, Zach runs out and he's going to try to save the day, which is later on in this review, you will see. We're not going to know what's going to happen with that part until July, which is when they return. So we move from there and we go over to back to Sabrina. Sabrina is talking to Danny. I was so glad when Danny told her exactly what it was in this scene right here. Danny was the only one that said, no, girl, you sabotaged your relationship when you decided to take somebody's sperm that basically is attracted to you and not tell your man until after you did it. That's what sabotaged your relationship. She didn't want to take ownership, Sabrina. So then we move on from them. They have their little discussion and we move on from that. And we see Zach pull up in the infamous parking lot of the law firm where Andy and Fatima work. I'm not too sure why Zach ran to the door. I didn't see how anybody go in it. And I don't know why he ran to the door. It almost seemed like he see somebody going in and he was trying to stop it to keep the door open. In the mix of there, he finds this Andy's phone. Then he realized, oh my God, I need to help her. He was going to call Fatima, but he decided not to, and I thank God he did that. He realized, no, my wife is pregnant, so let me go handle this myself. Which I think later on in the next season, Fatima is probably going to be bothered that he did that, but that was the best thing for him to do. We move from there, we go over to Danny. Now, is it me, people, or I'm feeling like Tony is setting Danny up. I don't know why he's setting her up. When I say setting her up, people, I mean that I believe that when Tony came here to tell Danny that the job is sending him to Alaska, I don't think that that's true. I feel like maybe either he wants to break it off with Danny and not tell her, or he's trying to convince Danny to drop the lawsuit on the job so that he could keep his job at where he's at. Now, instead of telling her that, I think he's making up this whole story about where they're going to send him. But I believe that Danny will probably find out, and it will definitely be the end of Tony and Danny. I don't believe if Tony is in next season, it's probably just going to be for a few episodes because I believe these guys are not going to be a part of the show for the next season. I could be wrong, but I'm hearing that they won't. They won't be. So we move from there. We go back to Gary, and oh my God, Hudson is exhausting. All of this, he is just exhausting. So he comes in the office and he tells Gary that basically he doesn't remember him. Do he remember him? So from what the scene is saying, it looks like Hudson used to be in school with Gary around the same time as that young lady who disappeared. I forgot her name, people. Just let me know in the comments if you guys remember her name. Kimberly Potter. I guess Kimberly Potter, Hudson was in love or like Kimberly Potter, and he blames Gary for her disappearance. So all along, Hudson was trying to get back at Gary the whole time he has been working for him, and I figured that. So they go backwards and forwards. Hudson pulls out a gun, and then the scene stops there, but we'll get back to that. Then we go straight to Jordan. Oh my God, this guy. I think Jordan will be best in another show. Even the drinking part where he had to act drunk, I wasn't feeling it. I don't know. So Jordan, it comes by Rich's shop and they have a few drinks because he's celebrating that he's out of jail and he's over Andy, which clearly he's not. So in that same scene, Penelope tells Jordan that he's a little bit too drunk, so she puts him in a car, and I'm assuming a cab, because why would she let him drive home and he was that drunk? So I believe she puts him in a cab, he leaves, she comes back in, and her and Rich has this moment. Now, people, do you believe that Rich and Penelope have slept together already. That's what it was given. Like they had a moment before. So they get all mushy, and Rich tells her how he's hurting, and Penelope's like, where hurts? And then they start kissing, and then it's on full throttle. They get ready to get it on. So we'll come back to that part. We move from there. We get back to Fatima and Karen. Karen comes in. They get to sign in the paperwork, but all of a sudden, Karen water busts. Finally, people, the moment we all been waiting for. Her water breaks. Fatima is hilarious. She like, your water broke in my kitchen? Like, Kara's like, yes, that moment, this little moment with them right here was hilarious, yo. But so then in the mix of that, Fatima tries to calls 911. Now, why did the writers have her call 911 and they didn't answer? That was just not. I was like, come on. I'm glad some of them are not writing for next season, because that just didn't make sense. She's calling 911, but they're not answering the phone. Then in the mix of that, Kara's telling Fatima, oh, hang up, call Zach, call Zach. I'm like, well, what the fuck Zach's supposed to do? What is Zach supposed to do aside for call? Like, same thing Fatima's doing. He's not a doctor. He can't deliver a baby. Who else was thinking that? Why is she calling for Zach? So I feel like Karen wants that moment with Zach. Maybe I'm feeling like maybe she feels like it may change Zach's mind, because he's going to see the birth of the twins. And she wants to give the moment to Zach and not Aaron, because she still some way is in love with Zach. Because she's like, call Zach, call Zach. Like, what is Zach going to do? He can't deliver the baby. Granted, if she would have said call Zach and Aaron, even if she would have said call Aaron, I'd have been like, what is Aaron going to do? She should be telling her, all right, get me to the hospital, get me in the car and take me to the hospital. Because I'm confused. Why was she even calling Zach? But we move from there. I guess we'll see what happened with that next season. We move from there and we get to my boy Robin. He's confessing his love to Andy over a call. Now, I think that Andy may not somehow this is gonna I don't know how this is gonna go, because Robin is trying to leave the message. Now, clearly Andy is not going to get there in time. I think that either she'll get the message and then they'll be together, or she won't get the message and Robin is gonna leave, but he probably will return. I'm not sure, but I think maybe he might return. I'm not sure how this is gonna go right here. I think that maybe it'll be some kind of twist to this little situation with his phone call, and if she got it, and if he can, they can be together or whatever. I'm not too sure how this is going to go, but I love my boy Robin. I'm so glad he's really letting Andy know how he really feels. So I think he'll be in season 9, definitely. So then we go to the ending, and people, who else wasn't surprised that Jasmine was back? I kind of had an idea that maybe Jasmine was the one behind everything, especially on the situation with when Gary got stabbed and he kept saying it was a woman. Well, we knew it wasn't the ladies. We knew it wasn't any of the ladies, Sabrina, Danny, or Andy, or Fatima and Zach. So it's like, who could it be? And I've been thinking that maybe it could be Jasmine. A lot of people were saying, oh no, Jasmine died when she fell off the balcony, off the parking way balcony. But I was like, no, she didn't. The last episode we seen with Jasmine was in the hospital, but she was alive and she was getting ready to get arrested for what she did to Gary. So that was her last scene. Andy, she takes Andy there. Then they come to realize that Jasmine was actually messing with Hudson, right? But my thing is, people, so did Miss Marie have anything to do with getting Jasmine out of jail to get back at Gary? Because I'm thinking maybe Miss Marie somehow got Jasmine out of jail. And when she told Andy on that episode, don't worry about it, let me handle it, I think that Miss Marie is behind this whole thing. She got him out of jail. She got Jasmine out of jail. Jasmine was always messing with Hudson, so it was all a setup from the beginning with Hudson and Gary. But I think Miss Marie may be behind this. My thing is, do you guys think that Andy will still work with Miss Marie when she finds this out? But anyway, the episodes at the end was crazy because Hudson is didn't some I guess he didn't really care for Jasmine. He was sick of her. So he winds up shooting Jasmine. So she's only in the episode for about a good 5 minutes. And he shoots Jasmine. I don't know if she's dead or not. But then Zach walks in. Hudson points the gun to Zach. The lights go out. Bingo, we hear about 3 shots. We don't know who got shot, and we won't know until next season 9, which doesn't come on until July 16th, which seems very far away, right? We like, damn, the end of the damn near the middle of the summer, they'll be returning. But guys, let me know what you all thought about the season finale. Did you like it? Did you agree with everything that went on? Some of the stuff I was like, wait a minute, what? But are you guys glad that Karen finally, her water burst finally? What do you guys think is going to happen with that whole thing with Karen and delivering these babies? I don't know, people. I feel a twist coming on this one. So that's the end of my review for Sister season finale. I'm deciding on what other show to review until Sisters come back on. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to talk about or hear about. I would like for you guys to like and share and subscribe. And thank you for all the support. Until my next review, stay tuned.